Call me Ben Gates, because I'm about to steal the Declaration of Independence. Kidding. Don't come for me, FBI, believe it or not.
I'm not actually here at the National Archives in D.C. for these priceless works like the Constitution here that document the founding of America.
I recently found that the building that houses our nation's most valuable pages actually tells a different story, a prehistoric story that creates its own kind of national treasure moment.
We are in the National Archives right now. We're under a table. And people are looking at us like we're absolutely crazy.
Well, maybe they're not wrong.
Welcome back another longtime friend of the show, Chris Barr. For those of you who don't know Chris, he's a lawyer by day and cool hat-wearing fossil hunter by night who has been documenting the presence of fossils hidden in plain sight at some of DC's most famous buildings for decades. It's something he calls DC's Accidental Museum of Paleontology.
I've been here 25 years and we've known there's fossils, but not until you contacted us did we really start paying attention.
Yeah.
And a colleague of mine and I just started walking around the other day and found hundreds of them.
Chris and I have previously spotted fossils at places like the National Gallery of Art and the National Zoo, but the ones we found here at the archives are some of the largest yet.
And you can see in this one, you can see not just the outline of the outer shell, right? But you can see segments. You can see cross shapes, which are septa.
The shell fossils at the archives once belonged to organisms called nautiloids, most closely related to modern-day squid. Chris told me these fossils are around 485 million years old, so how on earth did they get here? Enter archives historian Jesse Kratz, who talked to me about the origin story of many of the buildings, like this one in Federal Triangle.
They were all built in the 30s, and they were all taking limestone from quarries in the United States, and so they all have fossils in them.
The limestone here was likely brought in from a quarry in Tennessee back in the day, where large nautiloid fossils were embedded in the rock.
It's amazing that 485 million years later, we can still see its body.
Though these are quite large, Chris says this doesn't even come close to how big nautiloids could grow.
They've been referred to as telephone poles, which gives you some idea of their size, and you wouldn't want to run into them on a dark night.
I stepped over this about 10 minutes ago. I think it's crazy to think that people also step over this and don't realize it's here.
I've been looking everywhere now, so I'm walking around with my head down, walking through the buildings, and tourists come up to me. I'm like, what are you doing? What are we looking for? And then suddenly I have, 15 tourists also looking for fossils.
At the end of the day, the fossils at the National Archives are just one example of how you can walk through places of incredible historical significance in DC and get a glimpse into an ancient window, one that closed long before John Hancock signed his name at the bottom.
So now we're sort of inspired to start cataloging them and find out more about the stone.
Always keep your eyes peeled, because you never know when you might find a fossil.
So Matt, it looks like we're going to have to develop a new fossil tour here at the National Archives.
I think I might have to come back for that one. Here with Chris and Jesse at the National Archives, uncovering fossils once again. I'm Matt Kaufax, WTOP News. For more stories like this, download and listen to WTOP Radio on our app or tune in to 103.5 FM.
We're going to have to wash our hands.
Okay, I feel like I need to point this out at the end here. Mad About Town, for the first time ever, was a part of a new discovery that could change things permanently at the archives. I thought it was pretty cool.
What Chris did tell us, which I didn't know, was that we've been calling our limestone marble for all these years. Marble this and marble that. Then we found out that real marble doesn't have fossils in it, and we really have limestone.